Hey, Taebyn, you remember that AD episode from a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, with even with all that drinking, I felt freaking great the next day. No hangover, nothing. And you know why?
I mean, I have no idea what those things are, but I do want to know why.
Well, because I took Broad electrolyte vitamins. They're like super Gatorade in a vitamin. Anyway, I felt so great the next day that I emailed them and I said to them, "Hey man, great product." And you know what? The CEO emails me back to say, "Thanks.
Oh, nice.
Love to hear from fans. What are you guys up to?" And bam, just like that, Broad electrolyte vitamins becomes a supporter of this show.
Wow.
I know.
That's pretty great. Thank you, Broad.
Thank you, Broad. I mean, who likes being hungover or dehydrated? So guess what? We've got a special deal for all our listeners. Go to Broad Electrolyte Vitamins website at broad.co. That's BRODE.co. There's no M. And use the code BFFT at checkout to get 25% off your order with no limit to your order size. The more you order, the more you save. And on top of that, Broad will donate 25% of the proceeds from every order using the code BFFT back to the show to help support its production. So it's a win-win-win for everyone.
That's awesome.
So that's Broad, BRODE.co.
It really is. I mean, Broad gets stuff. We get things. You Furs get things. It's kind of great.
And remember, that's BRODE.co and code BFFT at checkout. Hangovers are the worst, and this stuff is the best. So go to Broad.co and use code BFFT. And get going. And, I wanted to let you know, it's June, Taebyn. You know it's June, right?
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, it's June. And you know what June is, right?
It's a month during the year.
But it's also Pride Month.
Oh, yeah. It's a very special month during the year. Yes.
It's important. It's important for Pride. When I first heard about gay pride, I thought it was a group of homosexual lions.
Yes, it's true. I could see that happening, yes.
Uh-huh.
Then you found out it's not. I was so excited about that prospect, but no.
Gay lions. Yeah, there we are. So,
yeah.
Right, that's what's going to happen.
And I found out, actually, speaking of lions, a.k.a. aliens, I found out, actually, why aliens have not visited us yet. It's because our solar system has received terrible reviews. It only has 1 star.
That only has 1 star. You are right.
Yeah, that's why. Right. That's why.
Yeah. And I think I want to let you know that, I'm a gray muzz, as most furs know by this time. If they haven't seen me yet, they know that I'm a gray muzz. You can see the gray on the muzz. And
there's the gray on
I'm going to be 60 soon. 60, 6 decades. I'm going to be 60.
6 decades you have been 60. Around to pleasure this universe.
And I think that sex at 60 will be fun. Although I would probably want to slow down first. And maybe pull over.
Oh, because 60.
Sex at 60, yes.
See.
Should we get started?
I think that... Yeah, let's do that.
You think that would be best? That we should just get started?
I think so. Music? I want to hear music, yes.
I hear the music. This is Bearly Furcasting, featuring Taebyn and Injured Nerves audio production. Well, hello, Guten Tag,
hello.
Hola, aloha, bonjour, namaste, konnichiwa, halay, and Moobarkfluff. To all our listeners in the Podiverse, I am barely normal. No, really, I am really just barely normal. Just barely. Just barely normal.
Just almost. Yes.
Right. And with me is that Sultan of Swing, that doppelganger for Weird Al, Taebyn. How the fluff are you, Taebyn?
I'm crazy, apparently. No, I'm doing good. I'm good. And it's been another week where I've been doing this stuff, whatever stuff I do. I can't even remember anymore. It happens like that. And how have you been this week, Mr. Bearly?
I've been good. It's been an interesting week at work. It's been an interesting week at home. It's been... I think I have my boss convinced to promote me to a new position. We'll see what happens.
Really?
Yeah, hopefully it won't be the missionary position, but hopefully it'll be something good. But
Because 60 and everything.
Because 60, it's like, do I want to work longer? But I kind of do if I get promoted, because then that's a raise. And for those that don't know, I work for the state of Oregon. And when you retire, they look at your top 3 years to figure your retirement pay.
Oh.
So if I get promoted, then I'll work for at least 3 more years. So that'll be my top 3 years, because then my wages will be higher. My retirement will be higher.
Yeah, no, that's pretty exciting, actually.
It's like, do I want to work that long? Not really. Do I have to work that long? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, abso-freaking-lutely. So
how are the parents doing?
My parents are doing okay. Mom, I had lunch with Mom the other day, and she was, your father's driving me crazy. I'm like, well, yes, because he's got Alzheimer's. Of course he's driving you crazy. I was like, that's his job with this disease, is driving Mom crazy. And just to make sure that things get connected that way.
He's a chauffeur that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the things that what my parents used to say when I was a kid was, you're driving me up a wall. And I never could figure out how to drive up a wall.
I know. I don't understand.
I never understood that phrase.
Like, gravity doesn't work that way. I don't know.
No.
No. So I have, if you're done talking about your week.
I am. Yes.
But you don't have to be.
I'm done. I'm totally
done. Okay. Because yes. I don't want to cut you off with my stupid thing I want to ask you about right now.
Okay. Ask away.
I have 2 jokes that I need help understanding. And that's actually a little bit of a lie when I say that, because the first joke, the first reading of it, I didn't understand. And then I thought, well, I'll ask you. So I started typing it up. And as I was typing, I realized I understand the joke now. And then once I understood the joke, I was a little hesitant. Should I really say this on the show? I'll say it anyway. So I'll ask you and see how quickly you get it.
Yes.
And then the second one, I still don't get. I might actually get it, but I'll appreciate your input.
Okay.
So with that big introduction, here's the first one.
Okay.
So a fortune teller told me that in 10 to 15 years, I would suffer the most terrible heartbreak any, in this case, pup, has ever faced. I was so upset over learning this. So I decided to cheer myself up. I adopted a puppy, and I've never been happier.
Oh, okay.
That was my first reaction. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page there. That was my first reaction. Okay. So I'll say it again and see if you get it. It took me. Okay. So a fortune teller told me that in 10 to 15 years, I would suffer the most terrible heartbreak any man. That's exactly.
Yes.
This is amazing. Those exact words were in the second reading when I got it.
Yes.
This was amazing.
Yes.
Wow. We are so on the same fluff here.
Yes. So for anybody that doesn't understand that, dogs only live 10 to 15 years. So therefore, the fortune teller, he bought a puppy. It would be a terrible loss because the puppy would pass on and go to cross the Rainbow Bridge and head to the all dogs go to heaven. Yes. Okay.
And that's the reason why I thought, I don't know if I want to, because it's a little sad once you actually get it. But I thought, no, I'll do it anyway. I am so, the word is elated that we got that on the second time round on the same words. That's amazing. Yes. And I saw your face. It's like, we just got it. Like when I got it. Yeah, that was very cool. So I'm actually glad I now said that, because that was very fun. The second one, which, as I say, I think I kind of maybe get, but I'll need your help. People said I'd never get over my obsession with Phil Collins, but take a look at me now.
It's because it's a song of his.
Oh, I wondered if that was it. Okay, so that's not the best joke, but now I get it. And I guess I feel complete in my understanding of things.
Okay. Yes, that's one of his songs. Take a look at me now. So there you go.
No, that's right. Why. Take a look at me. Okay, now I see.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
Now you get it. Now you're
so now I'm done
now
with
you're
that.
Cooking with Pam.
We can move right along.
We can move along. Let's talk about some birthdays. We haven't had some birthdays in a while. And
there are birthdays now?
There are birthdays. Everybody has a birthday. But first, a belated birthday. a belated birthday bark, to Misha B. Barkin, who had their special day in April. And
happy belated birthday, Bark.
Yes. And stay tuned in a couple episodes. Misha's going to be sitting in as a guest co-host when Taebyn is on his vacation. So Misha's going to sit in. Others celebrating birthdays in June were Captain Archer and his daughter Mumbles.
In the same month. That's craziness.
In the same month. That's craziness.
I guess it happens, but...
Coming up in July, Ski Sharp is going to have a birthday. He's been on the show a couple of times and sent us lots of information and stuff like that. And happy birthday to all you furs that are celebrating birthdays. And if we missed a few, I apologize. Send us information on BFFT chat, and we will talk about your birthday on the podcast. Remember, if you have a birthday or know of somebody that's having a birthday and would like to be recognized on the show, as I said, reach out to us on the BFFT chat. And there you go with birthdays.
There we go with birthday. So happy birthday from this
to you.
And that. Oh yeah, let's do that at the same time. Okay, ready? Every time we try this, it never works out. So let's see how much it does not work out this time.
Okay.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
You happy
birthday to you. Oh my God, let's just stop it right there. Let's just move along into something else.
That was great. We're trying to say happy birthday to all your furs, so yay. Well,
happy birthday.
Bark.
Happy birthday. Happy Bark Day. Let's get to the past.
That was the past today. Failed anything. That was amazing. Yes,
no, we fail often. The past today. So last week we talked about Cate Blanchett, and I said, "Oh, wasn't she in Titanic?" It was not Cate Blanchett. It was Kate Winslet. All these actresses should not have the same first name.
They all end with let. Let me know if you end with let, Mr. Hippopotamus, for there is another yonder over there that must bestow my privilege as a young, budding pineapple marsupial. I just created a drama. There was lots of intrigue.
Lots of drama.
No laughter and no emotion of any sort.
Of any sort. Do you have any past today before we get on to the next segment?
Please, I'm glad you cut me off there so I didn't keep going. No, I don't.
Really? Ow. Wow.
Which is very
rare.
This might only be the second time that's happened that I don't have any past today.
That's insane. It's
well,
so in that case, let's get to That's Just Stupid.
Are you stupid or something?
Stupid is, stupid does, sir.
That's just stupido.
Okay, so, and for those that haven't paid attention before, I rattle off these stupid things that happened in the world. And I just kind of wonder why people are stupid. So here we go. A commercial bus driver in Bridgeport, Connecticut was arrested and charged with 38 counts of reckless endangerment after he blacked out after eating a bunch of THC gummies. He claims claims that he didn't know they were THC gummies. I'm sorry, you had to go to the shop to buy them. He had to know they were THC gummies. There is no way that he did not know that.
You don't just go to Safeway and it's on the checkout.
You don't get THC gummies. No, sorry. Speaking of buses and transit authority, the Boston Transit Authority are having to install urine sensors. Yes, they were to sense people's peeing in the elevators. And, they're using the elevators to pee. Now, here's an idea. Don't pee in the elevators.
That's a good idea. I think that's normal, isn't it?
Maybe they should install litter boxes, and then Congress will get involved because there's litter boxes in the elevators.
Exactly.
It would make it easier to clean up. At least it'd be clumping. There we go.
I know.
Children, are you ready for this? Children at an Alaska summer daycare program were served floor sealant instead of milk.
What?
Yes, the sealant comes in similar packaging as the milk, and were shipped together to the school. Now, they have like bags. They go into a dispenser, and somebody put a bag of floor sealant in the dispenser.
Oh my cow!
And the children are fine, as the school has a low-risk ingestion policy, which means every chemical that they use can't be really super poisonous to the children in case they ingest it, because children eat everything.
Things like this happen.
Right, things like this happen. I'm just wondering if the janitor just wanted them to shut the heck up. Who knows? Maybe.
Seal that floor.
Right. Speaking of, we talked about pee earlier. The Pakistani government wants its citizens to drink less tea. They claim it costs the government too much to import the tea. Now, Pakistanis on average drink 4 cups of tea a day. They don't drink a lot of coffee. The government claims it will save import taxes and will affect the public waste system, because there's going to be less pee in there, if they drink just 1 less cup a day. Now, that's really a lot of teed off Pakistanis, I'll tell you.
I mean, maybe they should use the elevator, and then maybe that'll help.
with a litter box. Elevators with litter box. And finally, a blue catfish. Now, blue catfishes are huge. They're very big. They're like 6 feet long. They're amazingly, weirdly huge. And they're very popular in the Midwest for catching and stuff like that. A blue catfish was landed in Indiana, and when they cut it open, there was an adult plaything inside. I don't know where that catfish was before when it ingested that plaything, but maybe it was at a fur con? Because there's a lot of playthings at those fur cons.
We had BLFC recently, so maybe
it traveled to BLFC and ingested that. And that, my friends and my furs, is news of That's Just Stupid.
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
Where do you get this? This actually happens?
Yes, these things actually happen.
I mean, I think I ask you that every time, but it's like, okay. Well, I mean, thank you, all you stupid things out there, because now we have something else to talk about on the show. There you go.
That's right. Which brings us up to our section on media.
Except
you have something you wanted to say.
I do.
That's right. What is your thing?
I have.
Tell me your thing.
Not 5 quick puns, but 5 quick riddles.
Ooh, riddle me this, Batman.
Because as you know, I finished my Foxy Jokes and the horrible joke book last week.
The horrible joke book. Yes.
I got a few new books, and this is it's not really a joke book. Really, it's a riddles, fun riddles. It says, and
fun.
But I want to do it in the same manner as the jokes, in that I haven't read the riddles beforehand, and so we can try them together. Or I'll let you try them because I have the answer right here. But
yes,
this is in the first chapter, which is easy riddles, and so I'm just going to go down and do the first 5.
Okay,
I will ease into them. If I can turn the page with my pausey. Number 1. What kind of lion never roars?
A battery. It's a Lion battery.
No.
Lithium ion. That is.
No.
What kind of lion never roars?
A dandelion.
A dandelion.
Yeah.
Which is good for pride, because dandy is another term for gay man in Europe. You're a dandy.
I'm sure I subconsciously picked that for June on purpose.
On purpose, yes.
Number 2. I'm short when I'm old, but tall when I'm young. What am I?
Well, most people, but I'm sure that's not the answer, because that would be obvious.
It's true. And instead, the answer is a candle.
Yes. Ah, indeed.
That's kind of clever, yeah.
That's very clever.
Number 3. I am like a stone, but I grow on your body. What am I?
Acne, hair, bacteria,
hard as stone.
I don't know. It's like a stone. I don't know. What kind of stone grows on my body?
A tooth. It's hard as stone.
Oh, hard as stone. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess bones are hard. Okay.
Oh, you see, why didn't maybe they missed one there. So number 4. What kind of button cannot be unbuttoned? I bet I know the answer. Let me see.
A start button? Right.
A belly button.
A belly button. Oh, yes.
And number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. What has many rings but no fingers?
A raccoon's tail. A doorbell. A cheetah's tail.
You're closer. A what?
Okay. A cheetah's tail. They have some rings.
A
Cheetahs
cheetah's
have
tail?
rings on their tail.
Ah. They don't really have fingers. Well, their answer here is a telephone. So I don't think they're not unique answers, I don't think, but that works.
Yeah.
So that's my 5 quick riddles. We'll see if that makes it to the next show or not.
Yes, we will. We'll see if that makes it to the next show.
So tune in next week and find out
if
we
that book goes to Goodwill.
Stupid
yes.
riddle. Okay.
Okay, let's get to media, shall we? I have a bunch of stuff that I've watched recently since for whatever reason. I don't know why. So I finished season 5 of Young Sheldon. The final season. Well, not the final season, but the last season that they did. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with this season. They did a lot of character building, and they make sure that you care about the various characters. And no spoilers, but I sure hope that things get better for the Coopers, because they ended on a very sad, very hard ending for the season. And I just hope things get better.
Well, you'll know why I make that face when I do my pass today.
Okay. Or your media. We've already done pass.
Or my
today.
media. I mean, where am I?
Where are you?
I am in the
you want to turn the page
pumpernickel
on the
stick
script? Yes.
that has
well, with inflation, pumpernickel is now pumper dime.
I'll let you continue because I'm not helping.
Okay. So I've started rewatching Modern Family, the series, before Betty by time, because we finished watching all of King of the Hill. So now we have to fill another half an hour as we're relaxing and going to bed. So I picked Modern Family, going back to the very beginning. It's kind of fun to go back to the beginning, I have to say.
It is.
Especially when you know it comes later. You can see nuances in the way that the characters are developing, knowing what you know about what comes on later in the season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. Yeah.
I think I kind of, when I talked about at one point on the show, talking about Young Sheldon, I think I noted the same sort of thing that, well, it's not the exact same thing, but since we know what we know about Big Bang and Sheldon and Big Bang Theory, watching Young Sheldon, it's the same type of really cool, not surreal is not the right word, but kind of enlightened approach to knowing what's going to happen. And that's how that happened. It's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the backstory already from the Big Bang Theory. Yeah. So
yeah.
And I don't know if you ever watched the original Queer as Folk on Showtime way back in the late
You
80s,
mean the
early
second
90s.
Queer as Folk?
Second Queer as Folk. Yes. The first one was a British, which is also available on Netflix. Both of those are actually available on Netflix. They did another remake on Peacock. Yes. It's called Queer as Folk.
On Peacock.
Yes. Which is funny because when they give you the opening credits,
there's the rainbow.
Peacock. It says a Peacock original, and they underline the word cock, which is kind of funny for Queer as Folk. So it's pretty good. Like I said, it's like we said, it's a remake.
Lots of chicken on the show. Yeah.
Yes, lots of roosters. And it started on BBC and was written by and created by Russell T. It was written and created by Russell T. Davies, the same one that is known for Doctor Who. The same Russell T. Davies. Yes, he created.
Interesting.
He created.
Did you know he was going to do that?
Well, I didn't. He created Queer as Folk before he came back to Doctor Who.
Oh, I see.
So that's how old it is. Yeah, it's been a while. So it's the same series. Yeah. It was created in America for Showtime from 2000 to 2005 and set in Pittsburgh. The new series is set in New Orleans, or Nolans, as they say down there. And even though it's a new remake, the premise of the many characters, all renamed, I might add, they didn't name them the same as the original series. They seem to be the same. You know, for example, a young gay male falls for a guy that's way older than him. Trans, having babies, gay sperm donors, and drama, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All the same type of storyline impetus, if you will, for the new series.
Dun, dun, dun.
And to warn any sensitive viewers, if you have not watched this yet, they could be triggering, because the very first episode deals with a mass shooting at a gay club, and it's very traumatic. It's very sad. It's very, how do I say it? I guess the word would be, well, traumatic. So if that triggers you, you probably don't want to watch that. But the rest of the series deals with the fallout from that, and some of the BS that goes on with how people react to those type of situations and those type of things that happen in the gay community.
So it's more of a drama feel than the other.
It's more of what I would call a dramedy. So it's got comedy mixed in with drama. And if you're into gay shows, there's a lot of skin. So there you go. If you like that kind of stuff, you will find it abundant in the show. Abundant.
Pumper quarter.
Pumper dime. And now I know you watched the movie Knives Out on Netflix. Did you not?
Oh, yes, I did.
They're making a sequel.
Oh, really?
Coming out this holiday season. I don't know if it's the same characters, but I do know that the investigator, which is Daniel Craig, is going to be the main focus of this. And it's called Glass Onion, a Knives Out sequel. That's the name of the show.
So we'll see how it goes then. I mean, with a title like that, interesting. So two things. One, so I found out just yesterday. Did you ever watch Borat, the Sacha Baron Cohen movie?
I watched the first one. Yes, I haven't been able to bring myself to watch any other ones since then.
So I bring that up just because yesterday I found out that there's a Borat 2, which I didn't know. I don't know how I didn't know that, because I love the original, and so I didn't know that.
Okay.
But I bring this up because the title it's not Borat 2, it's Borat, the sequential movie film, something like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The
sequential movie film.
The title, you saying the title of the second Knives Out reminded me of that for some stupid reason. That really has nothing to do with anything, but I thought I'd say it. The other thing that does have something to do with something, in fact, it has to do with what you said just a little bit ago. Yes, I have seen Queer as Folk. I've seen the entire, however many 7 seasons, however many there are of the one that was on Showtime. Love the show. Really great. I have seen, I think, the first season of the original British. We couldn't quite get ourselves to finish. We didn't like it as much.
No, I didn't either, because in that very first episode, they kill off the Ted character, which is a critical character.
I don't even
in the
remember
Showtime.
that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He ODs in the very first episode. So it's like, no more Ted.
No more Ted. Thank you. I'll go back to the Showtime version. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. What have you been watching, reading, or engaging in entertainment-wise?
So Young Sheldon, the last few weeks, I think, when I've mentioned Young Sheldon, said, well, there's no new episodes coming out. Did we finish it, or is there more? I couldn't figure out. So it looks like episode 22, which was the last episode we watched, season 5, was the season finale. So indeed, it looked like we finished it. But you were saying that it's really, really bad for the Coopers. And I think maybe, well, no, now that I think about it, maybe I do know why you say that. Okay, yes. Okay. Now the face I had before when you said that, so for all you furs out there listening, you couldn't see it, but I made a face when he was talking about that. I was trying to remember what he was talking about, but now I think I know what he's talking about. So I take back my face.
Take back your face.
I took it back, but it has been renewed for season 6 and 7. Well, both 6 and 7. So that's pretty exciting. So, and we've continued watching season 7 of The Goldbergs. Still a really, really great show, of course, as you well know. We finished season 2 of Yellowstone. We still like it. Still great stuff.
Good.
But we rotate things and stuff. So we didn't start season 3. We started Bridgerton. Have you heard of Bridgerton?
Ah, yes. I've seen 5 or 6 episodes of Bridgerton. Okay, and I just haven't gotten into watching the rest of it. Yes, yeah.
What did you think of it? I think we've only watched like the first episode, because we didn't know what it was about. We heard things about it, but so what do you think of it?
I think it's very well done. It's complex. If you're a fan of Downton Abbey, you will be a fan of Bridgerton.
Yeah, that's what I feel. Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
It's so far, and we've only seen one episode so far. I like it. It's not amazing for me yet. It's fine so far, and I'm willing to watch another episode. So maybe next week I'll have watched more and can talk more about those feelings, I guess. I don't.
Well, hallay,
Moobarkfluff.
Moobarkfluff, yes.
And that's my media for the week.
Normally at this point we would have our guest, and I wanted to mention that we did interview Cassidy Civet, and we were going to put him on the show, or her on the show, but the interview went so long and was so much fun, we released that recently as a spotlight on Cassidy Civet. And so if you go to
as a standalone episode.
As a standalone episode, yes. So jump on in, listen to it. It was a lot of fun. It was great talking to her.
Of course, if you're one of those amazing furs, I think we have at least one out there that actually listens to every episode sequentially.
Yes.
If you're one of those amazing furs, then you already knew that. But if you're not one of those amazing furs, you're still amazing, right. But we just let you know that information so you can go back to last week's pupisode and find that out. And I am saying so many words, and none of them have any real meaning or substance. So I'm going to shut up for 1.5 seconds.
Well, because I'm going to take us into this or that.
Okay, my 1.5 seconds is up. Now I can participate in this or that.
As you know, I have a book called 3001 This or That Questions.
3001. Someone actually sat down.
Yes.
I'm just going to write down 3001 This or That because that makes sense.
We are on question 110 of 3001. So this will be with us for several seasons. Joe, just hang on in there. All right.
Pumper dollar.
Wow, it's getting up there. Inflation is just going crazy.
Inflation is like within the same episode. We are just rising.
We went from nickel to dime to quarter to dollar. It went up 75%. It's like
any good pumpernickel bread. We're rising up.
Rise on up. Okay. Would you rather watch only your favorite TV show or never watch TV again?
I would rather watch my favorite TV show.
I would too.
Pawsy down.
Would you rather be someone else or stay just you?
So, I mean, we've talked about this before, that sometimes these questions are, okay, they are really reaching, we're only on like 100, and like, they're really... This is a question that I feel is half and half. It's like towards the, you had a lot of time in your hands and you had nothing else to say, so yes, this question, it's half that and half trying to be philosophical and amazing, but semi-failing at the same time. That's how I feel about this question. So I'm going to say I enjoy being the pup I am. I love my tail. I love my colors. I love pup. So I am going to stay pup and not change. Your true colors rising through Taco Grande. I'm such a dork. I am such a dork.
Such a dork. Would you rather have... Now, this is kind of a silly question because you already had this. Would you rather have 15 minutes of fame or 30 minutes of wealth?
That's right. We did have this one. Now they're just repeating already?
Well, the 15 minutes of fame. You've had 15 minutes of fame because you've been famous for way longer than 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll go with that. I like this idea. Mm-hmm. Okay, so sorry. You got me all excited. I am weighing all over the place for whatever reason.
I know,
so,
be careful.
15 minutes of fame or
30 minutes of wealth.
I'll do the fame thing. I guess.
I would do 30 minutes of wealth because then I would invest the money.
Because then you can spend it.
Yeah, you can spend it for 30 minutes.
And invest it. Why not? You can invest it. You've got all this money.
Yeah.
Can I change?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I changed to the wealth thing.
Okay, good.
Okay.
There you go. Tell us what you're going to do with 30 minutes of wealth. What are you going to buy? What are you going to buy?
I don't even have any idea, but I'm going to do it.
Okay. I'm going to buy a Lamborghini. Of course, we can't take that to Furcons because there's no room for cargo in a Lamborghini.
Because the cargo, yes.
The cargo beep beep. Would you rather be ultra sensitive or not sensitive at all? Now, we've talked about you being a sensipup. So
I am sensipup. Well,
would you like to make that even worse, or would you like to have no sensitivity whatsoever?
I think let's just go for broke, and I'll go worse. I'll be ultra sensipup. How's that?
Ultra sensipup. So when someone looks at you, you start to cry.
I mean,
Thank
I
you for
kind of
looking
almost
at
do
me.
that anyway. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we'll go with that. It depends on the manner in which they look at me with their pomegranate fruit and their pumper $100 bill eye.
Wow, it's got to $100 for a pumper hunter. Okay.
It's gone
The final one.
a lot. Oh.
So you have a smartphone. I know you do.
I actually just got a new one yesterday.
Wow. Really?
I
Is
did.
it to confuse you?
So, well, ask a question and then I'll tell you about that, actually.
Okay. Okay.
So remind me.
So all your text on your phone, all of them, totally unedited, all your text. If someone could look at all those texts, who would you rather have look at your text? Your husband or your employer? All your texts.
I guess it actually really doesn't matter, but I'm going to go husband. And here's the reason it doesn't matter. Because all my texts, except for every now and then, there might be a small change in a word. But besides that, they're pretty much all either I'm a pup or bark bark. And so the only change would be a meow because I'm trying to confuse my honey or something. But, so it really doesn't matter, but I'll go with my honey.
Okay. Well, there you go. And that was our 5 this or that's for this episode. Now, tell me about your new phone.
So I actually had, I'm only like, 6 years old. How old am I now? I should count that sometime. Anyway, I'm not only like 6 years old and everything. But my first smartphone was an older one. I didn't get the new thing. I just got the old. It was an S6. I do Android, and this was a Galaxy S6, and it's an older phone because is not expensive and it worked. And I don't know technology or anything. And so just yesterday, then I got the newest one, which is like, okay, what are they on, like S8 or something? I got an S22.
Oh, good grief. Okay.
So it was a big change as far as the number of steps. But it operates a lot the same. It's got like better things and stuff. But it pretty much operates the same thing. But so you asked me about confusing me. And this is actually what confused me. So the S6, you would swipe. And, I've got, it's all temperature based and everything. And I have pauses and it doesn't always, the temperature doesn't always. So sometimes it's difficult for me to like swipe anyway. But the S6, you would swipe left or right. It would have a little icon for apps. If you wanted to, if you want to see all your apps and everything, you have an icon on your home screen for that, and you push that.
Yes.
Now, the S22 doesn't have that. I was in the store talking to the guy and everything, and once the guy got done being confused about why there's this giant puppy talking to him in his door.
Yes.
It took a while for him to figure that out. But once he did, because I wanted to check and see if all my apps had been transferred over from the old phone and everything. And I'm like, how do I find my app? It's like I'm swiping back and forth. I don't see a thing. And then he said, oh, you have to go up like that. And so you swipe up. And he was so confused as to why I didn't understand that. Then he realized, oh, you had an S6 and it doesn't. Anyway, so that was the biggest confusing part to me, which is not very exciting. And I wasted every last few 7 minutes with telling that story. But I did it anyway because the pumper $1 million bill has inflated to the size of, okay, this is where I stop talking for 1.5 seconds so that Bearly can get an word in edgewise and move us on. So 1.5 seconds, here I go.
All right. Let us get to our next segment, which is the segment that everybody waits for and loves to hear you say.
Good thing I can talk again so I can do this.
It is time for Furries in the News. Taebyn just threw up on the microphone. Should have taken his broad.
I didn't take my broad. Furries. What is even wrong with you? Ian, I hope this isn't on the internet so that anyone else ever has to hear this. Ian. I cannot. Just say it already, David. News. Oh, I'm done. Oh, bark. That was a journey. I am seeing colors. Oh, I'm done. Okay, hi. I made it. Hi.
Furries in the news. So brand new animal, or BNA, as a lot of folks know. Banana. Yes.
Banana.
Season 2 is created and set to release on Netflix sometime before the end of this year. They haven't given us a specific release date, but it is in production. And if you want to catch up on BNA, it's still on Netflix. So go right ahead and catch up and deal with that.
And you can catch up in mustard, and I relish that as much as you want.
Absolutely. Yes,
so have you seen BNA before?
I have. Yeah, I've watched several of the episodes. It's pretty good.
I have not yet. That's
anime.
right. We did talk about this on the show. You like it, though, huh?
I do like it, yeah. So catch up on it. There you go. Do you have any furries
I
in the news?
haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Well, what have you done? Nothing. You've done
nothing. My
nothing
life is nothing.
Yes. Well, your life is not nothing. But anyway, have you any news of the furry nature?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why that's... that was just amazing how you said that. I don't know.
But we're going to get to upcoming events, and there's a lot coming up.
I saw that. Holy cow. Holy pup. That's oh my cow.
So buckle up, Buttercup, because here we go.
My little Buttercup.
Next weekend, June 30th through July 3rd, is Anthrocon 2022 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Woohoo.
The same weekend, July 2nd through the 9th, which is a very long con. If you think
Holy
that's
cow,
7 days.
That's long.
That's a full
huge.
week. That's a long week. That is Lakeside Furs 2022 in Austria. So I guess the Austrian furs like to party for 7 days. July 8th through the 11th, 2022. If you happen to be in South Africa, you can go to South Afrifur and in Mulder's Drift, Lanzeria in South Africa.
You know, I blame all that on the rain. Wait, that doesn't work.
You blessed that in the rain.
I bless.
You blessed the rain.
So wait. Oh, I was thinking Milli Vanilli, blame it on the rain. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking the rain down in Africa.
Well, that's what I meant. That's what I meant to do, but I messed up.
It was a Toto disaster.
It was a Toto disaster. Oh, Milli, my Vanilli, after all.
July 14th through the 17th is Kineticon in Hartford, Connecticut. Also that same weekend, the 14th through the 17th. In Alberta, Canada is Fur-A. And we know that our good friend and friend of the pod,
Cassidy
Civet, will be there. Yes.
Toto.
Go see her there. July 15th through the 17th is Anthro Weekend, Utah. In Layton,
no, I
Utah.
don't. Utah.
Utah, we all ta. And the same weekend, if you happen to be in Brazil, go to Brazil Fur Fest.
If you happen to be in Utah and Brazil at the same time,
you are amazing because clearly you're a clone. Send in the clones.
Send in the clone!
And then the same weekend also in Norway is Furway 2022. Furway in Norway. Toto. At the S3E9 Hutetun in Brandu, Norway. It's almost as bad as German. Almost.
But you said it in the tune of Africa and Toto.
No. Toto, right.
Toto.
And that is upcoming events for the next several weeks. None of which we will be going to. There's like a lot at
the same weekend. Huh?
The same weekend, all over the world. And we will not be at any of those.
We won't be any of those.
Any of those, so. You got to get your Taebyn. You got to get your Taebyn fix through
I know
videos and or podcasting.
And or is what
and
you
or the
use
moon.
to row a boat.
And or ha. Ho my
Tow my car.
Toto disaster. Yes.
Because it's in the way of my consciousness.
Yes. Well, when I was a medic a long time ago, I was an EMT, and I went to an accident scene, and this guy had his toe cut off during the accident, and we couldn't find it. But then later, this pickup showed up, and they had the toe, so it was a tow truck. I could hear the crickets. I hear them. I hear them in the background. Taebyn, do you have any math for us?
Yes, because I am not even going to acknowledge.
Thank you. Please take us into math.
Okay.
Please take us into math.
So, any fur that's maybe a new listener? Typically, I would talk about some actual math, and then do a math story, alternate weeks. And the last few maths I've done haven't been in actual math. They've been like more about math history or something like that. But if you go back to earlier episodes, like say 5 episodes ago or whatever, I talk about actual math and stuff. So I'm going to get back to actually talking about some actual math this week. Woo!
Get on with it.
And I want to talk about the Banach-Tarski paradox.
Okay. Tell us all about the Banach-Tarski paradox.
And it's also known as the pea and sun paradox. It's not something you do in an elevator.
Okay,
pea
good.
And sun. So you're safe there.
Or on our 1 star, don't pee on the sun.
You've got the one sun in the elevator. It's like, it's not that.
Yes.
It's not that. I love how we just brought it all around.
All the way around, yes. And brought it
cohesive.
Back. It's cohesive.
Oh my. So this is actually a theorem. It's called I'll talk about the whole paradox part and everything in a bit, but it's actually a theorem back from 1924. Mr. Banach and Mr. Tarski published a paper, and this is actually based on work by Giuseppe Vitali back in 1905. So shout out to them. There's a little bit of math history, I guess. So here's what the Banach-Tarski, I'll call it theorem, says. If you have a solid ball in 3 dimensions, so it's all filled in and everything, there exists a way to decompose it, so take it apart into a finite number of pieces, which can be put back together in a different way, just by moving pieces around or rotating them. So you can put it back together to yield a duplicate, a copy of the original. So you can take the one 3-dimensional ball and decompose it, then put it back together, and you get 2 identical balls of the same size. It's the exact same thing.
Okay.
And this is literally a thing you can do. It's been proven. This is no joke. You can do this.
Okay. I believe you.
Oh, you do?
I do.
I did not expect you to.
Why should I not believe you? Are you lying to me again?
I am not.
Okay. Well, then I believe you.
So take it. Okay. I'll just keep talking then. And
okay, please do.
So the reconstruction can work. You can actually do this in at least 5 pieces. So you need at least 5 to take it apart in at least 5 pieces. And this actually works in dimensions greater than 3. But also you can do this for any number of copies of the same thing, of the same ball. So you can take this 3-dimensional ball and deconstruct it, then put it back together again so that you get as many copies of this original ball that you like. Like, this is a thing that you can do. I can't believe that you're actually believing this. I mean, it's true, but it doesn't. So, okay, let me ask you. I mean, does this seem like a paradox to you? Is this?
Well, it's like if you take something apart and put it back together again, how do you have more than one?
Exactly. Okay, so,
But it's math, so math always confuses me anyway. So if you say that you can take it apart and put it together again, it's like, I've got 2.5 years of listening to your math stuff, so clearly you know what you're talking about. But in my brain, it's like, if I take my car apart and put it back together again, I don't have 2 cars.
Right. Okay, good. I understand now. We are on. Okay, I was confused now, but you have made me unconfusing. I thought I was
Okay.
going to be the one confusing you, but look how you turned that around on me.
There you go.
And now let's talk about, of course, the mathy reason why this is true. But first, let me talk about why this is called the pea and sun paradox, because an alternate form of this is that any two objects, like take a small ball and a large ball, is that you can take one of them, decompose it, put it back together so that you get the large ball. So you get, yeah, exactly. And so it's called the pea and sun paradox because like you could say, oh, well, you could split a pea into infinitely many pieces and put it together and get the sun.
Okay.
So the reason why you can do this is because it's not like you can take it apart any old way and put it back together. I mean, the thing is that there exists a way. And the way that exists is that the pieces that you tear it down into have to what's called non-measurable. So in math, so I'm going to go into a little digression about things called measurable sets. In math, you can talk about a general notion of quote unquote measure. So like if you just think of an interval, it has a certain length, right? Okay, great.
Yes.
So we call that the measure of the interval. If you have two intervals, the set is those two intervals. And it doesn't really have a length because there's two of them, but we call the measure of that set, you add up the lengths of the two things. So that's how big the set is. And in the same way, like in 2 dimensions, you can, if you had like a whole bunch of squares that made up a set, the quote unquote measure of that set is add up all the areas of all the squares, and that's like the size of the set. So it's kind of a more general notion of a length where you're like got disconnected things and stuff.
I remember general notion. I knew him when he was a major. Go on, just keep going.
And so you can imagine doing this for 3 and even higher dimension stuff. Okay, so it turns out that there are... Are you making yourself laugh again?
I am. I'm making myself laugh.
Okay, so it turns out that there exist ways to make non-measurable sets. So these are sets that you can't add up all the lengths. And it's not that, darn it! And it's not like you cut them up into pieces that are so small you can't, if they're small, you can still measure them. So it's not that, it's just that the configuration of the things, you can't even measure them. So you can take this solid 3-dimensional ball, decompose it into quote unquote non-measurable sets. So things, little pieces that don't have a volume, like you can't measure like how big they are.
Gotcha.
Even though what you started with has a volume, and then you can put them back together in such a way that what you've put it back together as just happens to have, it's the same thing, but happens to have a different volume as the other thing because of in the process, you got this non-measurable stuff. So in the process, you didn't have a volume, so put it back together and you get a different volume.
Now my head hurts.
I was hoping at some point I would do that to you, so I'm glad I succeeded.
Gee, thanks. You succeeded in making my head hurt. Thank you.
But this is, it's a really cool mathematical notions, and it's obviously not something you can actually construct in real 3 dimensions because you have to be able to do this stuff. But it's math theory, math stuff, and it's been proven, and it's useful for other math things that help do other things, and so it's actually very cool and stuff. Now, it's interesting that you can't do this in 2 dimensions. You're falling asleep, but I'm almost done. You can't do this in 2 dimensions because of properties of measurability in 2 dimensions that don't work in 3 dimensions. So it's interesting that this only works for 3 dimensions. In any case, I'm done. Stop. You can wake up now. I hope some fur out there enjoyed this, and I'm done. I'm done. I find it really interesting anyway.
It is really interesting. I would like to see a diagram. Please, on the whiteboard at some point to show me how you can take something and take it apart and put it back together, and you have 2.
And you have 2.
And then
diagrams do.
And then if you take,
we're visual.
And then if you take 2 of them and take them apart and put them back together again, then you have 4.
Then you have
and
4.
Then all of a sudden things are growing. Geometrically? Because then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and before you know it,
bigger. This is David Copperfield stuff.
You have a pea in the sun.
Yeah. And that's why we don't have a sun anymore, because every fur peed on it. And there's
Feed on it,
no
and it
more.
went out. It's out.
That
It's
was
out.
a big,
Oh,
that was a huge elevator that we were all riding in to
That's
get this.
right. That's right.
The litter
Put the
box
litter
in that
box
thing
down
is
there,
huge.
please. Yes.
Oh my cow.
No. Any artist out there that wants to draw us a picture of an elevator with a litter box in it, please do so. That'd be kind of fun. Send
That in. That
to
would
the
be
BFFT
awesome.
chat. Yes.
We'll talk about it on the show. Yes.
Talk about it on the show. Oh, Taebyn, it's been fun tonight, and all good things have to come to an end. So we should really bring this episode to a close. I hear the music welling in the background.
I hear the music. It's welling.
Hear the music welling in the background. Yeah.
In the background.
I thank everyone for sticking around and listening to us yammer on and on about things, because really
Yammer.
when it comes down to it, we're just yammering and people are listening to us. I don't know why they listen to us, but I appreciate them for listening to us and tolerating our stupid jokes, and the things that we think are funny might not necessarily be the things that everyone else thinks are funny.
Bird Dime and Toto. Pumperdime Toto.
And Toto. Bird Dime and Toto.
And Major for some reason.
Major. No, General. You said General Notion. I said I knew him when he was a major.
Oh,
Major
I
Notion.
get it now.
General Notion. Now you get it.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
that I get it now.
It's just kind of like on South Park when you've got Major, was it Major General Disorder and Major Disarray?
Captain,
Something
Professor
like that,
Chaos and General Disarray. Yes.
Yes, there you go. Remember, you can get our merch at Redbubble or Bonfire. There's links in the show description. And there's only a few more weeks left to get your special deal on Broad electrolyte vitamins by going to broad.co, there is no M, and entering BFFT when you check out for 25% off your entire order, each and every order. Now remember, this only goes through the end of July, so get your Broad now. Broad is great. You can chat with any of the podcast folks on our Telegram chat, which is BFFT chat. We've mentioned that several times. You can email us. You can Twitter us. Please don't Twitter me. I don't know that I enjoy being Twittered. Have you ever been Twittered?
I think I better say no.
Okay, I don't think I've ever been Twittered. If you Google yourself, you'll Twitter all over your Facebook. I don't know. But you can email us too.
That's a major disarrayment.
Major disarrangement. Disarrangement. Disarrangement.
In
Anyway.
Toto and Africa Rain.
Taebyn, finish us out so we can pump her dick? No, don't pump her dick. Remember to tune into my other podcast, which is Off Leash. If you would like to listen to some not safe for work podcasting about puppy and puppy play, go on to Off Leash. But Taebyn, what would you like to say as a way to say goodbye?
Wow! And I also say thank you so much, every fur, for listening, especially if you listen this far. I feel bad for my friend Richard, who I pumpered just now, apparently.
Yes, you pumpered.
But besides that, thank you, every fur, for listening. We love it so much that you do. We hope you laugh. We hope we entertained. We hope we did that and everything. Hug you tight with Pausies at a con and all that good stuff. But I guess just until next week, can't wait to bark at you. Until then, Moobarkfluff every fur.
Bearly Furcasting is an Injured Nerve studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms or can be heard directly at bearlyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and their guests, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded and directed by Bearly Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by Bearly and our associate editor Rain Raccoon. Opening and closing theme music, as well as some interstitial music, was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by Reg Day with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Reg Day, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through silvermansound.com, Gator Tots on SoundCloud.com, and the YouTube Free is Library. Social media presences is maintained by Ziggy the Mean Weasel. Transformation Station is written and directed by Lux Operon with Rain Raccoon and is edited by Rain Raccoon. If you would like to send us a message, you can do so via email at bearlyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFT Chat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the bearlyfurcasting.com webpage. You can help support the show through donations at ko-fi.com/barelyfurcasting or through Patreon at patreon.com/barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.